So somehow or another, we have survived re-entry. Whatever fate has deemed for us, we are left to puzzle. And we find ourselves in the crashed remains of Theseus. No map of the area, but you can probably assume that we are back down on Chori 5. Problem is that, well, that rescue ship is coming, but will it make it in time? Also, what of the Watchers? We brought them back down to their planet, and they seem pretty ecstatic, as much as a sentient rock can be, but something still seems a bit off. And if we look at our memory log here, we'll see that the last couple of Watchers, after that combination of Chalmers, Dennett, and the Scavenger became one with the head Watcher, the Watchers are now labeled with a question mark. Because I guess it is left up to question just what exactly has happened to the Watcher race now that the human mind has become a part of it. Now, even though we are pretty much at the end of the game, and I mentioned that there were no puzzles left, there is one final hurdle blocking us from leaving Theseus, which is this incredibly easy button-pushing puzzle. Well, let's just leave these clones behind, leave our buddies behind, and see what's waiting for us outside. Yeah, it's the same desolate landscape that greeted us whenever we left the escape pod at the start of the game. What appears to be a cold, unfeeling landscape is actually part of a much larger Gestalt entity that is beyond all human comprehension. But now, somewhere deep down, as we can tell from these final remaining Watchers, that there is definitely something of Chalmers, Dennett, and the Scavenger left behind.
This is Rescue Charter 509 Alpha responding to SOS request. Stand by for risk analysis.
Ground ship. Subject checks out okay, but readings are off the scale. Recommend 4 quarantine protocols during extraction. Over. Don't worry. We're gonna get you home.
Our ship to ground. We don't have that facility on board, and we're not confident we can safely extract without it. Over.
What are your orders? Over.
Take every precaution and return to ship. Out.
I'm sorry.
So what do we do here? Do we risk going back, or do we stay and die? Well, I don't really feel like we even have the right to continue on. I mean, are we a person? Are we just a soulless copy? I mean, what awaits us in the future? And what right do we have to swap places and leave that person behind on Chori 5 here? Well, we don't really have much other choice now. We can't go back, and the only way forward is down. So I guess it's time to take that big final leap and see what waits for us in the oblivion. And as we careen our way down, down, down into the core of Chori 5, we're left to ponder a lot of questions as the telepathic messages from the Watchers keep coming to us. We see that Dennett and Chalmers and the Scavenger are trying their best to have the Watchers understand just what is coming up for our character, and that is a disconnection from life, the end, a death for a very, very short life. But it was a life nonetheless, and even if it wasn't something meant to be, can we even really be sure that we shouldn't have tried? I guess it's a little too late to know that now. There's no stopping gravity, and there's no stopping the inevitability that comes with all life, and that's death. So there we go. That is one of the endings, but something about it just doesn't sit right with me. I mean, granted, we could be a soulless human shell, just a broken copy of a mysterious person who we never knew. It's hard to say. We're not given any type of voice. We're not given any type of personality. Much as we are being controlled by the player character, so too was our character being controlled like a puppet by the Scavenger, Chalmers, and Dennett. Who's to say what could happen if the person we were playing as actually had choices, actually had some real motivation? And I think that is the good thing about life. That you have decisions, that you have thinking, you have choices. And you know what? I think for our character, this isn't the end. Instead, we're going to see what can happen if we make different choices. If we understand the fact that life, our being, our consciousness isn't just electronic signals, neurons firing off in a mysterious mound of flesh in our brains. No, there's something more to it, something deeper, that goes beyond just mere science. Could be a soul, could be fate, could be some bearded white man up in the sky. Either way, we have control of this situation. We can make changes, we can do things differently. And even though there's no real right or wrong, there's only a gray area where choice is available. So let's go ahead and see what happens when we make that other choice and swap with this other person. So did we make the right decision? Is there a real right or wrong here? It's really hard to say, and I think that's what really makes this ending, and both endings, and this overall game such a great, great title. Hopefully at some point you might have the opportunity to play it. Hopefully you enjoyed the LP. hopefully you can maybe think about life a little bit more and whether or not you have decisions to be made. Either way, hopefully you will join me next time for whatever I might choose to LP. And hopefully you had a fun ride with me through space and through questions of identity and just trying to figure out what is life all about. See you next time.